All right, I'm going to have a go at the Guardian's Cryptic Crossword for Thursday, April 10th, set by Anto. Let's see what Anto has for us. 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy. All right, who else has the Magpie theme tune running through their head? Quite the opposite. Well, magpies, definitely 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for a boy, so quite the opposite. Well, then I suppose the opposite would be 1 for joy, 2 for sorrow. Yeah, don't get that. Let's try the downs. Settle up for waffle. Maybe it's a word for settle, which has to be reversed to give a word for waffle. I presume it's not the waffle you eat, but to waffle on and on, as I sometimes do. But what's a short word for waffle? I don't get it. Freeloader in shelter next to church. All right, I think we're going to have a short word for shelter. And yeah, this comes up an awful lot. Shelter can be Lee, and church could be abbreviated to CH, and a freeloader might be a leech. Wild colt I broke becomes servile type. Well, colt I broke is 10 letters, so I think wild is telling us to anagram that. I'm wondering if it is a type of servant, servile type, as opposed to just somebody who is servile. I'm not seeing an anagram at first blush. I think the C might go together with the K. Brick, brock, trick. No, I think I need a letter or two for that one. After slip, worker becomes wayward. All right, that's another straightforward one. To slip might be to err, and we often see a worker is an ant. And if you are errant, you are wayward. Opening of any new unit supplies another opening. Well, the opening of... Oh, I was going to say the opening of any is an A, and then we would have to work out the other 3 letters, but we actually take the opening letters of any new unit supplies. Oh dear, we have the anus for another opening. All right, with that, let's go back to the acrosses. Gold ordered for morning delivery. Well, gold can be AU from the chemical symbol, but ordered, yeah, is it going to be a more, well, I don't know what morning delivery is, apart from the newspaper. Or maybe just delivery, but even then, oh, it could be a cricket delivery, a type of fast bowl. No, it measures your velocity during swim. Oh, I think it may be something that measures your velocity. Speedometer, of course, tachometer. But then during swim. No, at sea, Tudor 1, second phase of fight. All right, that sounds like an anagram of Tudor 1. At sea, telling us to anagram the letters, and that would give us round 2, second phase of a boxing match. It's at risk when making phone call. I think that's another fairly simple double definition. Everything is on the line when it's at risk, and if you're making a phone call, you're on the line. Latest figures include returned contributions. Yeah, I don't see. Returned, I think, might be a reversal indicator. Maybe the last letter of figures is an S, then a four-letter word for include, and then we reverse all of that. But I don't see it. How about poor working surroundings for money maker's game? What's a money maker's game? Monopoly. No, basic requirement for successful parachute jump. Yeah, so this seems like on the line where there's a straight definition, basic requirement, and then I think punningly, or sorry, basic maybe. Yeah, or for a successful parachute jump. Oh, down to earth, I think would be basic maybe. And a requirement for a successful jump is that you get down to earth. All right, that D is interesting. Oh, yeah, we had this word before. I think it might be the French for dawn, obad. So it's gold AU, and if you ordered somebody, you bade them or bade them to do that. Ooh, so now we're money makers. I think it's just a game, badminton. So poor is bad. The working is on. We often see that. If your television is working, it's on. And all of that is surrounding a mint, which is a money maker. All right, let's try another couple of downs, maybe. Contemplating part of church windows, learner climbs up. Well, if the definition is contemplating, I think it might be navel gazing. And I got on the lines there because I thought part of a church might be a nave. You often see that, or an apse, APSE. And then the windows and learner climbs up. Yeah, I don't see the windows. Glazing is windows, but the L within glazing climbs up to go before the G. All right, engaged by chance, strove desperately to become besotted. I think strove desperately is an anagram of strove, and I think that's going to be engaged by or surrounded by a word for chance, and the whole thing is going to mean to become besotted. Love struck, chance is luck, and you might be love struck. Retracted study about pests, not to worry. Study could be den, and maybe that gets reversed to become NED, and it goes around something for pests, but I don't see it. All right, let's go back to the across. That's our latest figures. include returned. Well, I'm wondering if it could be gifts. Might be contributions. Yeah, so it's a hidden clue with reversal, of course. Starting with the G in figures and reading backwards, we get gifts. All right. Caesar came by empty commune. That's in northern Italy. Right, so it's a city in northern Italy, Venice. And Caesar came, well, veni vici vidi. As a veni is I came, that Caesar said, and empty commune is just empty out the inner letters to get the C and the E. It has neck and defines it, perhaps. Well, a bottle, yeah, this is one of those sideways thinking. You just have to think of something with a neck, and that neck and bottle are both synonyms for courage. Stretches out to take on regular heavy duties. Yeah, so I think duties, this is in the news lately, I think might be levies. If you stretch out on your bed, you lie. So lies takes on the even letters of the word heavy. Some money to be made from talking about meaning. Yeah, it's a homophone. I think the meaning of a conversation, you sometimes see the phrase the tenor of his conversation, tenor, which of course sounds like a tenner, 10 pounds. Chap whose happiness sets the standard for us all. I think this is just cryptic way of defining Larry as happy as Larry. All right, keep close tabs initially for a couple of weeks. Well, a couple of weeks looking at the letters I have must be fortnight. Keep close. Yeah, so I think tabs initially are the two T's. And the word nigh is put in between, nigh meaning close. But I'm not sure. And then I think, yeah, maybe the tabs is just T on its own, because maybe initially for is telling us to put the word for at the beginning. I'm not 100% sure how to parse this one, but I'll leave that in for now. All right, yeah, surely this is never mind. So I think I was right about den backwards. Yeah, and the pests inside are vermin. All right, excessive. Deposit in heart may induce sweating there. I'm thinking excessive is going to be 2. Deposit in heart. May induce sweating there. Maybe it's not 2, but no. Setter's pelvis broken in half by force. Well, the setter is, Anto might say I am or I'm. Half of pelvis is pel, and impel, you force somebody. Deplore Republican vulgarian. Immediately think of Spy magazine. It was a bit of a rip-off of Private Eye, but it was very funny back in the 90s. And they coined the term for Donald Trump back when he was just a bad businessman. They called him a short-fingered vulgarian, and that has stuck. Anyway, that doesn't really help me other than Republican can be R. I presume it's going to be if you deplore something, you might boo it, and then Republican is R, and a vulgarian might be a booer. Refuse to acknowledge reduced reward. Yeah, I think it must be a 4-letter word for reward. We drop a letter and we get refuse to acknowledge, but I don't see it. All right, model has relations banned. Don't get involved. Oh, I'm thinking if you don't get involved, you might sit it out. Let's see if I can make that work. Yeah, might be something else it out. But model could be Model T. Relations. Oh, yeah, I think if you have sexual relations, you might say you have it. And I think, yeah, I'm not sure about this one. We have two its, so maybe relations plural is saying put it. And if something is banned, it's out. But was there a Model S as well as a Model T? If it's a T, I don't know that phrase. What else might it be? Don't get involved. Leave it at? No. All right. I'll leave it in for now. Evaluate what to do after vacation. Oh, yeah, we so often see the word vacation meaning to empty out a word and just leave its outer letters, but here it actually is, what do you do when you come back from holiday? You unpack, and you certainly hear analysts on television saying, let's unpack that. Middle managers trading fabrics from major African city. All right, I think it's going to be the middle letters of managers would give us the AG. Trading, I think just, yeah, I'm sure it's an African city, but I'm not recognizing what one it is. Oh, it must be A-N-T-R, A-I-A-D-I. Oops, can't type. A-D-I, Agadir. I just know Agadir. Let me look up Agadir. All right, I'm sure you all knew it's a coastal city in Morocco. Looks lovely from the photos. All right, how about plastic has effect bordering polluted lake? Well, since we have a K and an L, I think polluted must be an anagram indicator. Yeah, and I'm thinking of something they used to make those old telephones from, Bakelite. There's our anagram, and yeah, if something has effect, it has bite. So a new law, they sometimes say, has bite or doesn't have any bite. All right, so now, refuse to acknowledge somebody is to cut them, and then reduced reward. Oh, I think you get a cut. So it's not, I thought you would drop a letter. No, I think the reward or reduced reward is a cut. We'll check that at 15 squared. All right. Excessive deposit. Yeah, I'm not sure about the T from sit it out, so in fact, let me get rid of the other letters as well. Yeah, if it is sit it out, something tub or something. Oh, a hot tub, of course, yes. I was thinking can't possibly be tub, but it is. So excessive is over the top OTT, and that goes inside a hub, which might be the heart. All right. Oh, this one has gone. There was a comment from Adrian about how easy the crosswords have been this week, and he hoped he didn't jinx us for tomorrow. I hope so too. But yeah, this has been, some of the clues were very almost Quiptic level, I would say. All right, I must be able to, yeah, let me try my anagram helper now with Colt I broke. A boor licket. Oh, a boot liquor. Oh, I was very lucky with the anagram helper yesterday, and I would say pretty lucky today as well. So it really is the servile type, and not as I thought it would be, some kind of servant. Although, of course, it could be a servant too, but usually a bootlicker is a subordinate type, maybe in the same company. All right, 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy. I'm wondering about gullible. That certainly fits. I don't know how many of you had someone play a trick on you when you were younger and say, did you know the word gullible is not in the dictionary? And you can go and check it yourself. And of course you look up the word and there it is, and you realize how gullible you are. And of course I think of the old Spike Milligan joke, the guy saying, them's nice pigeons, and somebody saying, no, they're not pigeons, they're gulls. And he keeps saying they're nice pigeons. So no, they're gulls. Whether them be gulls or boys, them's nice pigeons. Completely unrelated. I don't know how it could be gullible other than magpies and gulls. Quite the opposite. Yeah, don't get it. Ooh, how about it measures your velocity during swim? Maybe it measures is the definition, and then your velocity. I'm wondering about Speedo, like Speedos you might wear when you're swimming, but I don't know, then settle up for waffle. Yeah, don't know. A word ending in P. Wrap. No. All right, let me pause and go through the alphabet for the first letter of 1 for sorrow. Well, in the end, I had to go to wordplays.com to look at all the possible words, and I saw a syllable, and I immediately realized, of course, Sorrow has 2 syllables. Joy has 1. Very tricky cryptic clue that. Anyways, saddle up then, of course, it could be our saddle could be to pay, and backwards is yap, which might be a lot of talk. I think this maybe in Britain is speedo slang or a short way of saying speedometer, so it measures your velocity, but it does suggest something you might wear while you're swimming. I think that might be how that's working anyway. All right, everything filled in. Did we have anything funny with the letters today? I don't think so. Was there a theme? Don't see one now. I am nervous about sit it out, but let's go ahead and check all. Looks like everything is still there. So I think I'm all right. All right, let's go over to 15 squared. All right, the blog today is by Anto, mostly straightforward, or by Andrew, I should say. Including some clues that wouldn't be out of place in a Quiptic. Ooh, and as often with this setter, I have some quibbles. Oh dear. All right, what ones did I... Yes, speedo, sort of double definition. Yeah, I don't think it's a very satisfying clue during swim, other than that you might wear a speedo when you're swimming, but don't know about that. And then fort is a keep. Of course. Yeah, I was trying to get 2 T's for tabs, but tabs initially is just the last T, so it's fort, a keep. Nigh, close. Yeah, that's very clever. I do like that one. Oh, to model, of course, is to sit. We've had that before. And on other days I got it, and today I did not see it at all. It, though, is having sex, and out is banned. All right, at least I got the rest of it. Oh, now he does quibble with why we take 3 letters from trading and only 1 from fabrics. And he thought that was a bit unsatisfactory. Oh, well. And he does say it should be affect rather than affect. Yeah, I think he might be. Yeah, I think he might be right on that. And then I think I followed all of the downs except for. He says it's a triple definition. Reduced certainly means cut. But is reward a cut? Martin, I may actually get something done today. Yeah, I think bad. I wouldn't say it's a completely new word for me, but I wouldn't have thought of it if we hadn't seen it in the crossword probably last year sometime. Quiptically obvious. Generous mood. Helpful to a newcomer, that's good. Some excellent clues. However, there were some that were maybe a bit too loose. Yeah. And there, Paddy Mellon had a Bakelite phone decades ago. Yeah, anyway. All right, yeah, that was a very quick crossword. I think I'm going to be done in under half an hour. That doesn't happen very often during the week. All right, well, thanks as always for watching, and have a great day.